is, let's say you have to go 1 mile. If you have to go 1 mile or less, you have to walk. But if you have to go 1 mile or more, you have to drive. So, if you have to go further, it could actually take you less time than if you had to go a shorter distance. The meaning behind this is sometimes what is worse can actually be better for you, because it's worse to go 2 miles than 1 mile. But you can go 2 miles quicker than you can go 1 mile. Here's an example in my own life that will help explain it in more personal terms that are more realistic, because you're obviously not going to be forced to walk if you have somewhere to go in 1 mile, right? Here's a real world example. My YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is, I'm going on 4 years. That's where I'm heading, almost 4 years. And obviously you can see by my subscriber count and my average views that my channel is not very big. I've put a lot of effort and time into it. But I'm getting a little bit of reward for it. I have you guys that are with me as like my ASMR reality family. And I do get paid a little bit of money, a very little bit. The most in a month I've made was like $240, but on average, if I average the life of my channel, it's probably an average of $5 or $10 a month for 3.5 years. So, like per video, like per hour, my hourly pay is way below minimum wage. But obviously you invest in these things thinking that they will grow in time. So, using the Regent Beta paradox, I would be much better off if you guys didn't comment, you guys didn't support me with encouraging words, you guys didn't subscribe, because there would not be the pleasure. It would be more pain. I would be putting in all the effort, reaping none of that side of the reward, only the small financial penance that YouTube pays me. Well, you can see that that's the theory, that I would be better off if it was worse for me doing YouTube, because I wouldn't then be putting in the time, and truly, like, as a personal time to get time back in my life. My return on investment into this channel is probably at least financially speaking, the worst decision I make in my life to do this. But the positive I get is enough to keep me hanging on. All you guys that say, oh my gosh, 10,000 is right around the corner, and oh, your channel is gonna blow up one of these days. It's because of people like you that have had me hanging on. So, but I know in the end it would be worse. Here's another example. My old job I worked there 20 years, and it was decent for a lot of years. But as I got older and older, and I had been there longer and longer, and the business kept changing and changing, it got worse. And so, like, it just wasn't, the pain was just okay. Like, I could deal with it for a lot of years. need to check something real quick. Sorry about that. I was afraid I was recording, or not recording. If I keep the monitor to the back side, which I do, I can't see myself, and I can't tell if it's actually recording. All I see is the camera lens. Anyway, you kind of get the idea that sometimes you're better off if the situation was worse. And one thing I've been thinking about when I really started thinking about this paradox is I think our country would be better off if things were worse, because I think we would make a change. We're just stagnant. We're just going along in our divisive state and our political squabbles that just make everyday living just that much more difficult. We're not united anymore, even worldwide. It's just the world feels different, and I know that a lot of people feel that, and I'm saying both sides feel it, both sides of the social divide. It's but life is just survivable enough. There's still food in the grocery stores, and the lights still turn on when you walk over to the wall. But imagine how quickly that could change. Imagine the grocery stores were empty. Imagine the light switch didn't work when you went over there, and you went 1 day and 2 days and 3 days without electricity, and you took a trip to the store and you saw the empty shelves, or the doors were locked. They weren't letting anybody in because they already were telling you it's empty in there. The gas you have in your car is all that's left because the gas stations are not open and operational. Things could really take a turn for the worse, and it wouldn't take that much. I mean, we are literally just one step away from that, really, at all moments. Life is fragile. But I just don't see anybody really. I even get the grief, like the things that I've talked about on my channel that have been controversial, and really they're not really controversial topics. They're just the topic of the day that people disagree on. The topic itself is not like politics. Politics in general doesn't have to be controversial, because it's about making laws and structuring rules and organizing society, collecting tax dollars and paying for programs. Government on its own does not have to be a bad thing, but our division, this stupid two-party system, what on earth? It is the dumbest thing. It is really the dumbest thing we do. It's like because so many people get caught up in the team aspect of the political. They don't care about the person. It's the team. And even if they know the person is like horrible, they want their team to win, so they have to let that person win. That's the danger in politics. And I think a lot of people don't even know what team they're on, why they're on the team they're on. It's like a lot of us in America that are Christians were Christians because we were born in America. If we would have been born in Saudi Arabia, we would be Muslims. If we were born in Israel, we would be Jews. If we were born in Japan, we probably would not have a religion. So, if things got worse here, I think we would fix it. And I think the example is the Civil War. things reached a breaking point. The divide, the difference in opinion reached such a critical state that everything broke down. But those people were already used to growing their own food and canning their own food and having root cellars, and they knew how to store food. They knew how to hunt. They had weapons to hunt, and we overcame that. But after that, things got better. Yes, we went through all sorts of periods to get where we are, but we've made it here, and we're alive, and we're peaceful, and we're organized. We've got to find a way to keep it together. And sadly, by the region beta paradox, the best way to fix it is to make things worse. Because we've just had plenty of time to fix it peacefully, and we're just not doing it. And if you look at the escalation of things, the pendulum has to swing the other way. Either that or they have to get worse, so we fix it that way. I don't know. I don't want it to happen, but that's my fear, is it's the only way we're gonna figure it out. And I could just tell by some of the comments I get on some of the things I talk about that there's people out there that are truly intolerant to any other person's views. Like for me, when I tell my opinion, I give my opinion, but it doesn't make me hate the other person. My opinions make people hate me, and it should never be that way. Hate is intolerance is just bad. So I don't know where we're going, but I have hope that we'll figure it out. And it's one of the reasons I like talking to you guys, because I hope that a lot of you think like me. And I think that if there's enough good people, we can overcome. We can join forces and keep things sane. Because it is people like us that actually do what they're supposed to do. We play our roles in society. Some may say we're in the Matrix because we're just being robots. Well, I'm sorry. Life is, to me, it's not the Matrix. To me, it's reality. And the people that are able to garner such a lion's share of the wealth, I don't know. They may have a different mindset, but I also understand that we can't all have that life. And since we can't all have it, I know I'm not comfortable being one of those select few that live an elite life. I just can't do it. I can't. It's why I walked away from my last career, because I just cannot be that person. I cannot. I can't rub it in people's faces, because I know what the world it takes to make it. I know how hard it is to make it, and I know what has to happen for the world to stay working, for that light switch to keep working when I turn the switch on. There has to be someone that'll come out and fix that pole when it falls down. For my toilet to work, somebody has to be willing to work in a sewer treatment plant. If I want to go to a restaurant and I need to use the restroom when I'm in that restaurant, I know somebody has to clean that restroom. Who's gonna do it? The elite? No, they won't. They won't. It's gonna require somebody that needs money bad enough that they're willing to clean a restaurant toilet to do it. And since the world will only operate if that's the case, the people in power know that things cannot be too great, or nobody would be willing to take that job. If things were too good, nobody would have to do it. Then what would happen? You see, it would all fall apart. So I think it's all they try to juggle. They try to juggle everything to keep the economy bad that it just falls apart, or that people can't get to elite levels. It's just all a big juggling thing, but they're really looking out for themselves, so many of them. There's so many elderly politicians, and you look at them, they're all filthy rich, and political pay isn't that great. So I don't know. It's to me, everything is messed up, and we need kind of to reset things. And I just think we need a restructuring of a lot of things in the world in order to get humanity back to right. And I believe that AI is probably going to play a role in getting us back to right. Because we sure don't seem to be doing a very good job of it on our own. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this talk on the region beta paradox. I hope maybe you can kind of relate it to some things in your own life. Think about your relationships. It's like, are you with somebody right now and it's just kind of okay? It's not really passionate, but it's not like pure misery. But maybe if it was just a little bit more miserable, you would have the commitment to leave and find someone that you think is more in line with what's going to make you really happy. That's again a part of it in your own life, an example in your own life that could be happening. Or same with the job. Is your job just okay, but it doesn't really give you a lot of sense of fulfillment, and it doesn't really bring you a lot of joy and satisfaction? If it could just be a little bit worse, you would be better off because you would leave. Sometimes, we need to make our own decisions when we know in our gut. We don't have to wait for them to get worse. So, anyway, thank you for listening